Yes, today you're going to be making the project on the game of paper, lock and scissor, and you're going to be making that project using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I'm going to show you from the beginning to the end on how you can make the art project of the game of paper, lock and scissor using both HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then first of all, we have to open the Visual Studio. And then after, we have to then open the new file for HTML. We click Ctrl N, then we select the language. We're going to select HTML. First of all, I think you have to select the folder. I created a folder on my desktop and I named it as Project 1. So let us open the folder first. On my desktop, I created a folder known as Project 1. That's the folder I'm going to put all my files concerning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then after opening the file, now I'm going to select the language of HTML. Then save by clicking Ctrl S. I'm going to save it as just as it is here, untitled 1. That's for HTML. Then let us open also the file for CSS. Save. Let us then also open the file for JavaScript. Then save it. Okay, we just finished the first step of first of all opening the file in our desktop, then saving the 3 files for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then after, what follows is writing the code. The first thing you're going to do, you're going to write the code for HTML. You can press Shift, then you press exclamatory mark so that you can get this structure that appears for any HTML program. Then you're going to link to the CSS file by writing this command, link, then press enter. Then you're going to write the folder, the name of the folder for CSS, which is untitled 1 CSS, as you can see it here. Then you press it. Then we have also to link the JavaScript file. We're going to write this command script. As you can see, it's already happening here. Just press it. Then we have to write the SCSC. This way. Then you have to write the name of the folder for JavaScript, which is entitled 1 JavaScript. We have finished linking the 2 files for HTML and for CSS. Then now we have to write the code now. For this project of paper, lock and scissor, I'm going to first create the container that's going to be containing everything inside. And the container is going to be in form of a div section. The class of this div section is going to be, I'm going to name it as a container, but you can just give it the name you want. Then after that, on top of that container, I'm going to put as the title, let me use h1 tag. The title, I'm going to name it as log let's do it this way, log paper scissors, this way. This is the title for my container, that will be the game of paper, rock and scissors. Then I'm going to create the class, and that class will be holding those 3 buttons that you have to press: the paper, the lock, and the scissor. Then just create the div. I'm going to give it a class of content. Then we're going to have 3 buttons here. Button 1, button 2, and button 3. On this button, you're going to create those marks for paper, lock, and scissor. If you want to put these emojis, you can just press window, hold, then press the semicolon. It's going to appear such a tag. So for lock, you can press such a thing here. For paper, press again window and the semicolon, press such a thing here. Then for scissors too, you can just press window, semicolon, and press this one here. That's over. Then we have to, when we click any of these, we want a function to appear. So we are going to write this function here, the name of this function here, and you're going to go to JavaScript file sometimes and put the commands so that when we click any button here, what should happen. Those functions are going to be written in the JavaScript file after we have just finished writing this HTML file and CSS file. So what's the name of that function that's going to be displayed or done? So we have to place on these buttons. First you have to write your own click, and after clicking this button, the function, I'm going to use the function of, let's say, game. We place these brackets, and I'm going to write the name. Here it is, log. Also the same applies when you place this one here. The function is the same, game, but here it is paper. And also here, when you press this, the function to be done is game, but here it is scissors. That way. Then you have finished creating the 3 buttons, but still you can just open your browser so that you can be seeing the changes you're making as you keep on proceeding with your project. Just come open the folders part here and right click to the HTML file, and on top you can see open with live server. You have to be already installed the extension for Lifesaver before you begin any project for HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Then so right click on the HTML file, then click open with Lifesaver. After that it will appear here. See everything you're writing or changing appears here. So afterwards I think you have to put also the words that you'll be displaying, that maybe the computer has played this, the player has played this. So let us say for example right here, computer. Let us give this the ID of computer play. Let us give this the ID of player play. Then also let us give this the ID of result that display. Let us put here the default result as it's a tie, that way. Then after, down here I'm going to first add this single line, and I'm going to add something like what will be displaying what the player has already won to a moment, or the computer has already won. So as you win, it keeps on incrementing the number. So I'll put this at a div. I put this ID as a computer score. No, I'll give it a class of score. The letters in here will be the computer score. Also we have to add the span that will be displaying the number of what the player either scored or the computer either scored. I'll give this the ID of computer score. Let us put 0 for the moment. Let us copy this and make it also for the player. The player score. I'll give it the ID also of the player score. Yes, so there we are done with HTML. Let us go now to the CSS. For CSS, we are now going to be able to arrange it so as it can appear somewhere good, put some colors and everything else. So let us first deal with the body. The body is everything that appears on our screen. Now for the body, let us put the background color, something like gray, maybe. Yes. And then let us put the height for the body to be the maximum for the whole screen. That's 100 VH. So the height of the body is everything that appears on the screen. Then display, it has put as flex. Justify content. You want the content to appear on the center. To align the items, it be also the center. I think we are done with the body. Then let us go for the class of container. Remember, we called this class, this container, we named it as the class of container. So let us call it here. If you want to write it for the class, you have to begin with a dot. So it is container. That way. Then let us fetch the background color. Let us put something like gray too, but we're going to change something here. Let us maybe put something like here maybe. See, something like that, and here let us make it a bit more dark. Yes, that way. And for the padding, let us put 20 pixels. That's the space between the words and the content and the borders. No, let us make it something like 30. That way. The border radius, something like 15 pixels. And also the box shadow. These are various commands for making our CSS look good. Let us put 3 pixels. No, 5 pixels. 5 pixels and 10 pixels. For the color, let us just take the same gray and take something like this maybe. Yes, it's not bad. You can see there is a shadow somewhere here, and also let us also align the items on the center of the text to be on the center like this. This is not bad. Then let us go for this title. This title, as you remember, it was H1. Then we are going to say the size, the font size. Font size we're going to set as maybe let's say 3 EM, not 3 times larger, but it's too big. Let us say maybe 2 EM, 2.5 maybe. Yes, this is not bad. And the text shadow, let's say 3 pixels, 26 pixels, something like this maybe. Also for the color, let's say like here. Yes, it's not bad. Okay, now afterwards I think now we have to go for these buttons. Let us say the font size for the buttons to be something like 3em. Let us say the padding, the margin to be something like 10 pixels. This way. Let us put also some padding too, like 5 pixels. These are various commands that you have been knowing when making these things. Then let us go for these, the 3. We gave them the idea of computer play, player play, and set display. So let us first delete computer play, and player play. Let us make the font size as 1.5 em, and the margin to be at 0 pixels. See, let's first put something here, margin bottom 10 pixels. Yes, that way. You have kept the margin below these buttons. Okay. Let us now then deal with this, the result display. The font, I'll make it like 3em. See the margin, I'll put 3 pixels, 0 pixels. Yes, that way. Then also for this, remember we gave them the class of score. As you can see here, the class was score. So we select the class of these two. After selecting the class, now we're going to do also some CSS. Let us change the font. Right here the font size is. Let us also say 1.3 em. That is enough. That's enough. So as you can see, we already have something like this. Now we're going to know something else. I want these buttons to be circle. So the border radius, I'm going to set it as 50%. That way, as you can see now, it is a circle. Now we're going to put some commands that when we over this, any of these buttons, what should happen. So you're going to write button, then over. So when we over or put the cursor on these buttons, what should happen? The first thing that should happen is we want the background color to change and be gray. Background color should be gray. Also, the cursor should be a pointer. So when you hover over these buttons, the background color is gray, and also the cursor is the pointer, as you can see. So that's all for CSS and JavaScript. Now when it comes to JavaScript, first of all you have to create the array known as choice. For when you're creating these variables, you have to use const means constant, meaning that you don't want to be changed later. Const, the first variable is choice. This is going to be an array. This array is going to be having 3 variables, 3 items. The first item is log. The second one is paper. The other one is scissor. This way. The other variable we're going to say is computer play. Now to get the variable content from the JavaScript, from the HTML, we have to use the ID for the computer play. So we are first going to write this command: document dot get element by ID, document dot get element by ID. You have to write that. Then you have to write the ID for this computer from HTML. The ID was this one here. You have to you can copy it or just write it and paste it here. So the same applies for all others. You can just copy this line here, copy it, then just paste it. The amount of times you have to write those. So the other one is the player play. The ID was this one here. You can just copy it. So the name of the variable is going to be the same: computer play. Paste player play. Paste the ID here too. The other thing we have to want is the computer score. What was the ID? The computer score. The ID was this one here. Copy. Come here and paste. Paste it here and paste it here. The last one is this one here, the player score. You can copy it here, come here, paste it here now, paste it here, and paste it here too. So those are the things we have. But also, I think you have to add the other 2 variables for the computer that will be incrementing as we score. The computer scores or the player scores. You can say let computer is equal to 0 and let player is equal to 0. This way. Now, as you remember, we said when we click any of these 3 buttons, there is some command that we're going to place on the function known as game. Okay, now we're going to write our function known as game. Function is game, and in this function you're going to be rotating the computer choice. Computer choice. The choice that the computer will make. You see, is going to be our argument for this game. The computer choice, also the player's choice. No. Here we're going to put the player's choice. player's choice. Then for the computer's choice, I'm going to say const computer choice is equal to the choice. Yeah, we created the array known as choice. Now we are going to put some commands that we create any random number from 1 to 3. So when the number is 0 or the number is 1, it's going to know from this array. Let's take maybe a paper, rock, or scissors randomly, any of these, depending on what letter or what number has been selected randomly, using this function math dot flow. First you have to put math dot flow because it will be a fraction, and also inside you have to put, now this is the real command, math dot random. Then you have to put times 3, that's the maximum number, this way. So that is the computer choice. But there's also something to add here, the result display. The const, this one here, is equal to document dot get element by ID. Then you put its ID here, that display. So here now down you have put the little to let result is equal to, this is a new variable. First it will be having anything in the string. Then we're going to say if the computer score is equal to the player, the computer choice is equal to the player choice, then the result is going to be equal to it's a tie, that way. Or else, I think you all know about the if else statement. I'll create a video to explain more about this if and else statements. Or else, so if computer is equal to the player choice, the result will be is a tie. Or else they're going to use the switch statement. The switch statement, they're going to be rotating the player's choice. The player's choice. So for the case when the player's choice is, let's say lock, so what the result? The result is you're going to use a ternary operator, saying that if the player's choice is lock, when the computer's choice is equal to Caesar, is equal to Caesar's, I just copy it here. It's a ternary operator. Then you're going to display you win. Otherwise, if not this, if computer choice is equal to Caesar's and the player choice is equal to lock, you win. Otherwise, if not that way, you're going to display you lose. And you're going to write here the break statement. That way, that's the case 1. Case 2 is that if the player's choice is equal to paper, thus the result will be equal to if the computer choice is equal to lock, then what you're going to display, you win. Otherwise, you're going to display you lose. Now we're going to put the break statement, and then for the last case, if the player's choice is equal to scissors, then the result will be equal to if the computer choice is equal to paper, then you are going to display you win. Otherwise it is you lose. That's the break statement 2. So that's the 3 cases. Then after, outside these 2 loops, we're going to write the results now. Now the result display, we're going to write result display dot text content, which is this result display, which is present this one here, because we got the ID from here. So what should we display here? We're going to display the text content as the result that we are getting inside here. Also the computer play, computer play dot text content, what should we display? We're going to put these marks here is equal to computer what should we display inside here? We have to display the computer's choice. Computer choice. Then what about the player play dot text content? It'll be almost the same, which is player what should you display inside here? I have to display the player's choice. Player's choice this way. Now let us test this. You see? You lose. You win. You lose. See? It's a tie. When it's a lock, it's a tie. You win. It's a tie. You see? It's a tie. You win. That way. Now we have to add some JavaScript and CSS that when you test the score, this letter should be green. When we lose, the letter should be red. And then we are going to use the switch statement. We are going to switch the result. So for the case of you win, Next, you're going to add the class. We're going to add the class on this, and that class you're going to go to CSS and put some properties. So result display dot add class dot class list dot add. We're going to add the class. That class we're going to name it as green. Then also, as we win, we have to increment the player's win. The player win, you have to increment it by 1. Then at the end, this player's score, what was the name, the player score, this one here, we have to display how many times the player scored. So the player score dot text content will be equal to player. That's all. You have to put the break. Then for the other case of you lose is that we're going to add the other class. So what is the class? Is that dot class list dot add. We're going to add the class, and that class we're going to name it as led. You can just put any name you want. Then if you have lost, then it means the computer has won. You have to increment how many times the computer has won by 1 every time it wins. So we are going to say the computer score, which is this one here. So the computer score dot text content is equal to computer, the amount of times it has won. Then let us put the break that way. Then, so as you can see here, as we lose, the computer displays how many times the computer has won. That way we have won. So we have to put this letter, this word. We have to change the color here. As we win, it is green. As we lose, it is red. That way. So we have the first class, and the first class is green. We're going to say the color, it has the color B equal to green. And the other class that we created was red. It has set the color of this class to be equal to red. Let's change something here, because as you see, it is meant to be red every time. It has, when you begin any other loop, we have to change the color to be normal. So we're going to say that display dot text content dot class list. We're going to remove these classes. As we begin the new loop, we are going to remove the classes. Remove the class known as green and the class known as red. You see? So now when we win, now this is our game. When we win, it is green. When you lose, it is red. So So this is our final project, and here down we are displaying the amount of times the computers won and the amount of times we have won. So this was the project of paper, lock and scissor from the beginning to the end, and I'll keep on bringing some other projects so you can just follow and be the experts in terms of CSS, JavaScript and HTML. Thank you.